Hey, today I'm talking about the Pusher trilogy. This is a Danish series of films, all directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. First up is Pusher. This is a 1996 film, and the basic premise is it follows this guy named Frank as he grows increasingly desperate after a botched drug deal. And it's pretty dang solid. I loved the gritty feeling of the film. Like, it felt very much so like my exact favorite kind of vibe of 90s film, of just like raw and kind of anything could happen at any time and dirty, and such an aesthetic that I love so much, and it really perfectly captures it here. It felt very 90s in the best way possible. This is Mads Mikkelsen's feature film debut, and he is so young in it, though he's actually already in his 30s, which is crazy to me because he looks like such a baby. And he's great. I really enjoyed his character a lot. The main character, Frank, it's really interesting how, like, I really hated him. Like, he is not the best guy. He's a drug dealer. He does some shitty things, but at the same time, I also didn't want to watch him fail. I didn't want to see his world come crashing around him. I didn't necessarily want to see him succeed and continue with this life, but I also didn't want to watch him get beat to death. So that was an interesting balance. Overall, I would say there's a lot of really great moments that I definitely loved and latched onto, but I think because I couldn't really connect to the main character, it didn't click that thing in my brain for me to put this in my highest ranking category, which is really liked. It is definitely a very well-made film that I did totally enjoy and would totally recommend. There's a lot to love with this, but just because it just didn't like do that thing in my brain, I couldn't quite put it up high enough. So I did enjoy it a ton and would recommend it. It's just not my highest recommendation. So yeah. Next up is Pusher 2. This is a 2004 film. Apparently the whole reason he made 2 and 3 is because this other film that he did kind of bankrupt his production company, so he needed some kind of guaranteed hits to build it back up again. And yeah, I enjoyed this one even more than the first. There's a lot more to this one that I really was able to latch on to. So each film in the series actually focuses on a different main character, which I think was a great choice. So the first one was Frank, and now this one is Mads Mikkelsen's character Tony, which just from the get-go, I was just so excited because he's not the brightest guy around. Like, he definitely makes poor choices for sure. He is just about, like, you know, the lust for life, getting high, just partying, just chilling out. And like, really, he has such a great charm to him too that it's hard for me to not just be infected by his adorableness as he goes on this journey of trying to change his broken down life as he's released from prison. Really, the film is all about fathers and sons. In particular, he just wants to be enough for his dad, but he's never enough for his dad. And he's maybe given an opportunity to be a dad to someone else. And part of the film is trying to figure out, how do I be that dad to this new generation? I don't want to repeat the cycle. I don't want to become the piece of shit dad that my father was. I love all that so much. Also, the opening of this film is incredible. It's a monologue by this other character in the prison, and it's so good. I almost just like immediately went back and rewatched it again because it's great. It's so freaking good. So yeah, I enjoyed this film even more than the first. Like, I enjoyed the first a lot, but this honestly felt like a big step up to me. Because yeah, even though the characters are doing shitty things and aren't in the best situations, there's just something about Mads that really you want to latch onto and just like see where his journey goes. So I would totally recommend this one. I do think you could just watch this one without having seen the first one. I don't know if I'd necessarily advocate for that, but if you're just like, oh, this one sounds more interesting to me, then yeah, you can do that. But I do think the whole trilogy is worth checking out just as a whole. So yeah, no, great film, totally worth a watch. And lastly is Pusher 3. This is a 2005 film. This one focuses on Milo. He was a drug dealer who was in both the other two films. The premise is that his daughter is turning 25 years old and she's throwing this huge party and he's responsible for so much of it. And he's so stressed out by that, as well as just like his regular drug dealing empire stuff. But he's also recognizing that his drug use is very detrimental to just like getting anything done well. So so much of the film is him just struggling with the stress of life and the desire to use while trying to plan this party and then also working on some drug deal stuff. And man, from right out of the gate, I so latched onto this character because, like, yeah, he is definitely not a good guy. He does some bad shit in here. But yet, I can really truly empathize with him because he wants to just improve himself for his daughter's sake, even though she's not the best person, but also just for his own mental health. Like, he wants to be a better person and he knows that drug use is his downfall, but he doesn't know how to live without those drugs. So, like, how does he do this? How does he improve himself without using the thing that he needs to get by just to exist? It's such fascinating and interesting moral questions. I really truly love that so much. And I really loved Milo too. Like, he's an old man and you can really feel his age as he's trying to deal with all of these young whippersnappers in the new drug game, trying to screw each other over and whatnot, and him over. And you do just want him to get through the day. This one all takes place over the course of like 24 hours, which I really, really love that. I think that worked really, really well too. It added this nice like ongoing tension to the whole thing too, because I knew we were just kind of stuck in this moment. Yeah, no, it's my favorite of the three and a great end cap to the trilogy. I would honestly be cool if the director decided to come back to these films to see what has happened to these characters, the ones who have survived. I think that would be so, so fascinating. So yeah, if you were gonna watch just one of these, this is the one that I love the most. But again, the whole trilogy is great and well worth a watch. So yeah, just do the whole trilogy. I would say it gets better as it goes on. So even if you're not the most into the first one, just stick with it because it gets better. It really does get better. So yes, thoroughly enjoyed, totally recommend. Alright, now for today's rankings, going in release order, we got Pusher sitting at number 33 in the quite like section. And then after that is Pusher 2 sitting at number 21 in the really like section. And then lastly is Pusher 3 sitting at number 17, again in the really like section. And this is out of a total of 75 old movies so far this year.